Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are enjoying the holiday season. It's been a little while after the unexpected and early arrival of our baby boy, but I'm back and feeling great with another tutorial for you all. In this video, I'll be showing you how I made this toddler pinafore dress. If you'd like to see how I achieved this look, please stay tuned. Alright guys, let's get started. I have 1 yard of this buffalo plaid flannel. You can use any fabric that you'd like, preferably any fabric with little to no stretch would work best. I cut 2 identical pieces for the front and back piece of the skirt. For the length of the skirt, I measure across 20 inches, which is the measurement around my daughter's waist. I make the skirt 13 inches long, but you can make yours shorter or longer, whatever works best for you. I also make sure to add a 1/2 inch seam allowance on all 4 sides. I'll be adding pockets to the skirt, which is totally optional. You can click on the card in the upper right hand corner and see how I prepared them there. For the top front of the dress, I measure 8 inches wide along the fold. At one end, I measure across 5.5 inches, which is the measurement around my daughter's waist, divided by 4 plus a 1/2 inch for the seam allowance. At the other end, I measure across 3.5 inches, then I connect and cut those 2 points on a diagonal. Here's what that looks like cut out and opened up. Here's the front piece pocket that measures 6 by 5 inches. The front pocket is also optional. I cut 2 27 by 3 inch pieces for the straps. I purposely made these much more longer than what I needed just to be safe. Lastly, I cut 2 ruffle pieces for the straps that are 16 inches long and 3 inches wide. First, I grab both pieces of the skirt. For the front piece, I sew a gathering stitch 1/4 of an inch down along the top, and for the back I make a casing by folding 3/4 of an inch down and sewing across with a straight stitch. Before I do that, I attach the pocket pieces first. Remember, this part is optional. I place them front facing down, 1.5 inches down from the top on both sides, and sew down with a straight stitch for both the front and back piece of the skirt. When that's complete, I have the back piece of the skirt with the casing prepared across the top with the pocket piece attached, and the front piece of the skirt with the gathering stitch across the top and the pocket pieces attached as well. I set that aside for now. For the top front piece, I fold in a 1/2 inch and sew along the sides. I also grab my front pocket piece and fold a 1/2 inch in along all 4 sides and sew with a straight stitch. I also fold in the corners in a 1/2 inch and sew that down as well. After sewing all that together, I lay the front piece down front facing up. I grab my prepared pocket piece and center it on top to my liking and pin it in place. Then I sew the sides, corners, and bottom with a straight stitch. Here's the top front of the dress with the front pocket piece attached. After the pocket is attached, I grab the front piece of the skirt. I gather the top of the skirt till I reach 11 inches in length, which is the measurement around my daughter's waist, divided by 2 plus a 1/2 inch on both sides for seam allowance. Next, I center the bottom of the top onto the skirt front facing in and pin. I sew across 3/4 of an inch down with a straight stitch. When both pieces are attached, I flip the seam allowance down towards the bottom of the skirt and sew a top stitch underneath the waist seam. Here's how that looks once it's done. Then I set that aside and grabbed the back piece of the skirt. I cut a 9-inch long piece of elastic, which is the measurement of my daughter's waist, divided by 2 minus 1 inch. I attached the safety pin at one end of the elastic and insert it into the opening of the casing. I push and pull through and line the other end of the elastic with the end of the opening and pin it in place. I continue to push and pull the other side of the elastic through to the other side of the opening. I remove the safety pin and line that end of the elastic with the end of the opening and pin that in place. Then I sew both ends of the elastic in place with a straight stitch. Once those are sewed in place, I evenly distribute the gathered skirt and grab the front piece of the dress. I line the front and back piece of the skirt front facing in and pin the top ends together. Then I sew them together, starting from the top, around the pockets, and straight down the sides of the skirt with a straight stitch. After sewing that together, I turn the dress right side out. To prepare the ruffles, I take both pieces front facing in and fold them in half. Then I freehandedly cut a curve on the opposite side of the fold. I hem the curved edge of both ruffle pieces and add a gathering stitch on the other side. Here are both ruffle pieces with the curved edged hem and the gathering stitch on the straight edge. I gather each piece until I reach 10 inches in length. Next, I grab a towel and lay it down for pressing. Working with one strap at a time with the wrong sides up, I fold both sides in a 1/2 inch and press along those folds. Then I fold the strap in half and press along that fold. After pressing, I grab both straps and ruffle pieces. I place the straps down with the opening facing outwards. I measure 3 inches up from the bottom end and place the ruffles inside the strap at that point and pin in place. After pinning both ruffles in place, I sew along the opening edges with the straight stitch. Next, I measure 1 inch down from the bottom of the ruffle and cut the excess strap at that point. I place the top front of the dress down, front facing up. Then I flip the straps over front facing down, lining them at each corner, making sure the ruffles are facing outward. I have a 10 by 3 inch piece of fabric that I pre-cut and hemmed on one side. I lay that on top of the straps, front facing down, and line the raw edge together and pin all 3 layers together at both ends. I sew across with a straight stitch. When that's sewn together, I flip the seam allowance under and cut the excess fabric, leaving about 1/4 of an inch on both sides. I fold the sides underneath, lining them with the sides of the dress, and give that a quick press. After pressing, I sew the sides down and a top stitch along the top edge of the dress. Now I have a nice clean finished strap attachment in the front and the back. At this point, I tried the dress on my daughter to see how much of the strap I needed in the back. You can line them straight over the shoulder on each side, or you can crisscross them across the back like I'll be doing. I mark and cut off the excess fabric on both of the straps with the 1/2 inch seam allowance. I also marked the strap placement on the elastic band on the back of the skirt. I fold the ends of the strap a 1/2 inch up and place them inside of the skirt along the elastic band where I marked, then pin and sew in place with a zigzag stitch. I also hemmed the bottom of the skirt with a zigzag stitch as well. Here's the dress with the straps fully attached and the skirt hemmed. Here's a view of the back and the front. And now the dress is complete. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when there's a new upload. See you guys in the next one. Bye.